Okay, 7A is going to be a short one. It's just a decision through, not even lighting the path here. Right, diverse forms of justice. At last, their quarry stands before them. Old Ezra the miser partakes much of the quality of the swamp, for he is gnarled and bent and sullen, his fingers like clutching parasitic plants, and his locks hang like drab moss above the eyes trained to the murk of the swamplands. His eyes are like dead man's, yet hint of depths abysmal and loathsome as the dead lakes of the swamplands. Over a year ago, says Solomon Kane, you, fearing that your insane cousin Gideon would tell men of your cruelties to him, brought him away from the swamp by the very trail by which we came, and murdered him here in the night. Ezra cringes and snarls. You cannot prove this lie. Kane bids the youth from the village forward, who empties out the contents of a burlap sack before Ezra. It is the skeleton of a man, the skull hideously cleft. Before he can react further, a signal from Kane, the villagers seize and quickly subdue the old miser. So we can't place a luck cue. Justice player breaks all ties. So we just got to decide. So this would be a vote system. So do we bring Ezra to witness the consecration of Gideon's remains and have him fully account for his sins in public? Or take Ezra's side of the murder and tie him to Gideon's tree for the ghost to administer his own justice? I'm going to go with what the short story is, the second one. So we're not going to take Gideon over to we're not going to take Ezra over to the consecration area. We're going to tie him to Gideon's tree just like he did it before. So we're going to go to 9A. Our danger is on 4, so we're fine. So we're going to go to 9A. So I'm just going to carry this on in this video. Let's see what we're doing with 9A. Oh, we got another scene. So we're moving on. So yeah, I'm not going to do a 2-minute video. So I'm going to quickly set this up for Gideon's tree. Old Ezra is bound, and Kane and the villagers set out for the moors, chivying him along in their midst. They experience the uneasy sensation of being watched as if by death itself. Finally, they come to that gnarled dead tree atop the moor, where the murderer concealed the body of his victim. What will you do with me? Ezra mumbles. A hard thing it is, says Kane somberly, to sentence a man to death in cold blood in such a manner as I have in mind. But you must die that others may live, and God knoweth you deserve death. You shall not die by noose, bullet, or sword, but at the talons of him you slew, for naught else will satiate him. At these words, Ezra's brain shatters, his knees give way, and he falls grovelling and screaming for death, begging for them to burn him at the stake, to flay him alive. Kane's face is set like death, and the villagers, the fear rousing their cruelty, drag the screeching wretch of the oak tree, and one of them bids him make his peace with God. But Ezra makes no answer, shrieking in a high, shrill voice with unbearable monotony. The villager makes to strike the miser across the face, but Kane stays him. Let him make his peace with Satan, whom he is more like to meet, says the Puritan grimly. Tie him to the tree. Oh, this is pretty brutal. Right, okay, so we got exploring, Ezra, health 3, follower of Solomon Kane. He can fight him. We've got the exploration tokens, of course, which are really important. Doing explore action, which is tying them to the tree, perhaps. The villagers are rabble, but they're followers of us, and they're also scouts. That's how they move. Ezra tied to the tree, place 1, and then we proceed to 10C, otherwise 10D. So we need to set up this board. Oops. We've got some villagers again on the board. So bear with us 1 second while I set this up, and you'll see how long it takes to set up a scenario here. So rather than being pre-made, I'm going to be setting this up in real time. I'm going to move this over here. You'll see why in a bit. I don't think we use any of these boards. Oops. So, let's just grab the boards, which is 2, 3, 4, and 15. 2, 3, 4, and 15. And then let's grab the other ones, which is 2, 3, 4, and 15, and just 20 as well. Okay, so we got 20A. Will this fit? Maybe if we move it down a little bit more. Actually, I'll show you what you can do by moving this across. If I actually have 28 here, then we can do 2B here, 3B here, like so. Right. It's going to be a little bit of a way. If we move this sideways, should be able to fit this in. 4B would be here. Leaving 15B here, like so. So north is actually this way. Hence why you have the compass. That looks all perfect. We need an exploration token near the tree, of course, which goes here. We start with 3 shadows. So remember, spawning threshold only counts when you're spawning from the darkness cards. So there are 3 shadows that start on the board. We do start with courage on the board here. Solomon Kane starts here. We end up with 1, 2, 3, and 4 villages going here, 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 whoops, and here. 1, 2, 4 male villages. Going 2 in here. 1 over here. And 1 down here. So that's a fair amount of villages. Z is over in this corner. X over in this corner. Y down in the bottom corner. And of course Ezra is in the same area as Solomon Kane. Okay. So we've now set up the board. We need to grab out some discovery cards now. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Mob mentality. Seeking their own form of retribution, the villagers maim and kick Ezra, trying to hurl him towards the tree. Whenever a scout, remember all the villagers are scout, searches, they move 1 area towards Solomon Kane. Whenever a shadow engages Solomon Kane, after resolving the event, villagers take a fight test against Ezra with a base value equal to the number of villagers in the same area as Ezra. When he is defeated, reveal 723. So can we get him to the tree before they kill him? Restoring order. Kane attempts to calm the crowd down as he intones the list of Ezra's sins. For if they kill him, then there is no justice. Oh God. For each seal on this card, Solomon Kane gains +1 to explore test. I'm presuming when we reveal stuff, that will give me some potential things, especially we need to go to this explore and just do an uber explore in that final one. Okay, the board is set. We are ready to get going. I'm going to put that back this way, which should be fine. To move it on to there. Right, darkness cards. 14 darkness cards for this particular round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 darkness cards. Put those up there. And this is the darkness deck. I'm going to actually put that token up there so I can put the darkness cards there. And we are good to roll. And we are in the aura of Providence, which is awesome. So we're going to get the 4 dice to start with our fear still hanging by. Wow, that is a lot of fear. We need to move our butts. Can we talk to Ezra? No, we can fight him. Obviously, we don't want to fight him. Well, we could just... No, we don't. Fair enough. So we don't want the shadows to engage me because that's really, really, really bad. We do want to move. Now, I could take the danger down. No, I'm going to re-roll one of these. I need to try and get a determination or a... Now, that leaves 3 of those. I'm just going to leave those 3 fear there for now. So Solomon Kane moves 1. Now follower, if I remember rightly, follower just means, oh, the villagers are followers too. Huh? Yeah, they move the same areas. So he comes the same way, and all the villagers move 1 towards me. Oh, right, they all literally move. Right, okay, we're gonna have to pack this area out. One towards, and one towards. They're also scouts as well, though. Oof. Yeah, they're going to be coming into the area all the time. Well, not necessarily. It depends what the darkness card does, I suppose. So with integrity, Solomon Kane makes his way. I didn't have to do that bad, actually. Let's put them in the actual area. Solomon Kane, with the rabble of the crowd, makes their way towards the tree. One scout searches. So this is going to be nearby. So let's move this one in. One scout moves west. West is this way. Actually, I'm going to move there. So that's all the ones in my local vicinity. Furthest scout moves 1 towards Solomon Kane. The furthest shadow moves 2 to threaten. And no spawn. Okay, so we did scout. We didn't do a search, did we? Oh, hang on. No, it's, right. I must remember, whenever a shadow engages Solomon Kane, that's when they do... Now, there's a lot... That's a high fight value, so we don't want that to happen. But we have got Providence here blocking the way, ready to explode those shadows. Now, we're on danger of 5, which is not great. Are we on 5? That might be moved. I don't know. We're not on 5. On 4, I think. We're definitely not on 5 because we had 2 shadows. Right. Let's see if we can. Do we want to? Oh yeah. Did I want to exchange any of the danger -1? I want that. Explore 4. I want that. No, I don't want to change my cards. Oh, that's determination. Pain. That's that sorted. I think I'll re-roll this. Typical. So with that in mind, we are going to kapow, kapow, kapow. We're going to do this. Oh, hang on. No, I don't want to use the Explorer, obviously. And I can't do that. So, yes. So, Providence steps up the way, destroying the threat for Solomon Kane. And he moves forward 1. Now, whenever he moves, they all move. We're making our way, though. We're only 2 away. We're only 2 away. One scout searches. So that's going to have to come into our area. The closest scout searches. Spawn in Z. Which is over here. Okay, 3 dice. But I think we can get Providence back on the board. Oh, that's a good roll. That's what I like to see. So we got the movement. Let's get Providence back on the board. So we're going to move 1 to here. And have Ezra come in. All of these come in. These move up by 1. Look at the rebel coming forward. And then he is going to get he. So it's very likely that I think we need to block that shadow. So Providence is coming here to defend, still giving the aura Solomon Kane. So Providence comes on the board, Solomon Kane leading Ezra towards the tree, nearly making his mark and keeping these as they are. 1 scout searches. 2 scouts each move 1 east. The closest shadow moves 1 to threaten. Comes in. Yeah, unfortunately comes in. Danger +1. We're now on the 3 threshold. I think it's fine for now. We're pretty much coming towards the end. The furthest scout moves 1. No, we've already moved that scout. Spawn in Z. Again. So another shadow here now. But the most important thing is they are not, as you will see from here, they're not going to be affecting my roll. Now I roll 4 dice. So we need to do our movement and explore. Oh, we got, how many, where's my cubes? I've got 2 cubes as well. So that's 2 wilds. I need, what I'm going to need is a wild, a fear, and a determination as well. So if I use that to move, that, and 2 white cubes. Yep. That's gonna be -1 clarity. It's really annoying. It's gonna be -1 clarity, but yeah, we're gonna use our mercy cubes. So we're gonna do this to move into the area. Then we're gonna do. Did I just flip one? Did I just flip a dice? I don't think I did I? So I'm going to flip that dice to make it to there. So, Solomon Kane making it to the tree. Now, the question is, can they all fit in here? Probably, with the rule of having at least half the base. I'm going to say yes. They can just about fit in. So they make it to the tree. And now they try to tie Ezra onto the tree. With an explore of 4. So explore 4 plus 3. Oh, that's -1 by the way. -1 clarity. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 8 base. We need 13. Wow, you need 13 for the best possible outcome. Still a chance. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's going to be a luck cube down. 13. Let's make sure we got that right. So a base of 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. No minuses because the shadows are not in my surroundings. That is the best possible. Oh. Ezra tied to the tree. How do I know when Ezra's tied to the tree? This is interesting. It doesn't say anything about 10C. Huh? What? A? Alright, well I've just done this to hit chapter 10A. So how do I tie him to the tree? That's a bit weird, isn't it? How does this ever happen? That's confused me. 723. 723 might be the only one that... Oh, I can talk to the villagers. Oh, I didn't know I could talk to the villagers. Oh. I would have talked to some of the villagers. Whoops. Alright, well let's go straight to 10A. Normally, oh hang on, I've got to finish the turn, so I'm going to place some light just in case. Happy with everything else. I've used that cube, that luck cube, and now we need to do a darkness card. One scout searches, she can't fit into our area. 2 scouts move south, no. The moves 1 to engage. No, to threaten, and the farthest moves 2 to engage. Gonna get rid of that shadow, like that. And then spawn it in Y again. Y is over here, sorry. Then spawn in Y. That's the end of the turn. Now we go to chapter 10A. Hopefully 10A is good. I imagine it would be. Gideon's secret. Ezra is lashed tightly to the tree, so he can scarce breathe, let alone struggle. They turn to leave him as he yammers and gibbers in human sounds and then fall silent, staring at the sky with terrible intensity. They walk away across the fen, and Kane casts a last look at the grotesque form bound to the tree, seeming in the uncertain light like a great fungus growing to the bole. And suddenly the miser screamed hideously, "Death! Death! There are skulls in the stars!" Life was good to him, though he was gnarled and churlish and evil, Kane sighs. Mayhap God has a place for such souls, where fire and sacrifice may cleanse them of their dross of fire cleans the forest of fungus things. Yet my heart is heavy within me. Nay, sir, one of the villagers speaks, you have done but the will of God, and good alone shall come of this night's deed. Nay, answers Kane heavily, I know not. Then, far away, the red disk of the moon rises over the fen, and for an instant a grim silhouette is etched blackly against it. A thing like a flying shadow, a nameless, shapeless horror rises around the tree, and Ezra, then they merge into one unnameable, formless mass and vanish in the shadows. Far across the fen sounds a single shriek of terror, terrible laughter. Major victory! Awesome! So we 100% completed. Awesome! We completed that perfectly. Was to be honest, I would say from Act 1, about chapter 3 or 4 it was. I started to boost these stats up absolutely massively. These stats started coming up, and as soon as you're really ahead in this game, it makes it very easy. Especially, I'm talking about solo. I don't think it'll be the same in the same case if you're playing multiple player. And I'm hoping to do another playthrough video, definitely. Probably Rattle of Bones, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it one player, but co-op. So I'm going to take on the role of one of the virtues, and the other 3 virtues will be there for me to utilize. I think that'll make it a lot harder because you've only got 2 reserve slots. You can't donate dice, of course, so that's not going to happen. So I think that might make it a little bit more challenging without having to add nightmare cards in, because it's really hard to know when to add nightmare cards in, because this story started out horrendously for me. In that chapter 2, I think it was chapter 2, whatever that first scene was, I just couldn't catch a break. I was doing it horrendously, and I thought, oh, I'm going to fail this miserably. And then those story chapters came, and it just made it so much easier. So whether or not just putting in like a nightmare card for each story chapter might be a good way of balancing it. Now, I'm not saying that every chapter is going to be this easy. Every story, is going to be this easy. It does recommend Skulls and the Stars as a starter story to play on. Because it's not as complex or perhaps not as hard. So much fun though. That was awesome. And just to see the short story that I read out months ago and to play it out on a board game with choices, actions, it was really fun. And I tried to add a little bit of narrative to make each of the chapters a little bit more interesting, especially when the scene chapters are fantastic because you've got loads of these discovery cards, you've got all the text going on in the car, and then you've got lots of things happening with those action cards as well. When you come to the scene chapters, it's a little slower and not hugely flavoursome. You're just lighting the path. So just trying to introduce a little bit of flavour, a little bit of narrative into each of those was the idea I was going for with this playthrough. I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, it contains spoilers, of course, of this story. You know, and we're talking about, well, it wasn't 20 chapters because you don't do literally every chapter of the 10. But really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching it too. And that was Skulls and the Stars, Mythic Games with Solomon Kane, a complete playthrough of those 2 acts of that story. I really enjoyed it. And as you see, as we went through the stories, I started to paint up more and more miniatures. So now all of those miniatures are painted for that particular one. Gotta love Gideon's Ghost. Gideon's Ghost taking his so at the very end there, we all moved away. We all moved away from Solomon Kane, and then we heard the screams, and then we saw the silhouette of the ghostly Gideon coming in and taking his revenge to be at peace. So that was what happened there. Awesome. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more painting. Another playthrough, I'm sure, at some point. I had those as well, which I just completely forgot. I had those as well. So when I say, you know, once you start doing well, you start getting more and more bonuses, and you start to do better and better and better. If you do badly, it starts to go on a downhill slope, and maybe that will happen in the next playthrough. Okay, please do like, please do comment. How did your playthrough go? And please do subscribe for more Solomon Kane and other games as well, certainly on the horizon. Okay, keep gaming, guys, and stay safe.